Hare Krishna. So welcome all devotees for our regular Friday Bhagavad Gita study circle. So I take it as study circle because here we are discussing words to words and going, we have successfully completed chapter 1 in I think 3-4 sessions. In 3-4 sessions we have completed it. And now this chapter 2, which is called as Sankhya Yoga. So, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the beginning one, and then the Sankhya Yoga. Okay. So the Sankhya Yoga means analysis, analytical study of the matter and spirit. So here we have very special devotee with us, Rajiv Pandey Prabhu. I have known him since like 4 to 5 years, more than 9. Yeah, 4 to 5 years back. And he is working presently in Cognizant, work from home. So he is working from Goshala. You can see right now he's sitting there only. So we are discussing the various reasons which Arjuna gave to Krishna how he cannot fight. And now, after his full analysis, which Arjuna did, as per his mind and intelligence allowed him to do so, he became a little frustrated. He is unable to clearly distinguish what is his duty and how to address the morality within the duty. And he's also confused about what is right and what is wrong, what is enjoyment and what is sacrifice. He's unable to distinguish it. So in that situation, he surrendered to Krishna. And now, from this particular verse, 11 number verse onwards, Krishna starts speaking. And he gives amazing analysis. Arjuna also was doing analysis, and now Krishna also doing analysis. However, Arjuna analysis only made him more, paralyzed. Just like one time a worm was walking, a caterpillar, it walks on many legs. Very beautifully it walks. So one person came and asked, another caterpillar or another ant came and asked, okay, which number leg you, when you keep your 75th leg on the ground, what happens to your 125th leg? Whether it is on the ground or it's on the air. So caterpillar never thought in his life while walking all these years, which leg he steps down, which legs he keeps above. So when he was questioned like that, he started thinking about it. Okay, I'm keeping my 75th leg down. Where is my 125th leg? So he's doing such analysis, and by that analysis, he became paralyzed. He could not move even an inch ahead. So that is what the Arjuna's case here. After doing a lot of analysis of Dharma Shastra, Artha Shastra, and trying to give sufficient arguments to Krishna, he is unable to distinguish what exactly need to be done. But however, Arjuna's analysis only brings out his wonderful qualities of being detached, being indifferent to the material needs, and also compassionate, ready to sacrifice, and surrendering to God, surrendering to the Guru. Such qualities make Arjuna qualified for receiving knowledge. In the material world also, we do a lot of analysis, but that analysis only brings out pride in one's mind and heart. And if analysis appears to be appreciated, then you may get some big degree or a medal for it. And if it's not appreciated much, people generally become frustrated in their life. So Arjuna's analysis only brought out confusion. And that time he approached Krishna in a very respectful mode. humbled. He was humbled and he asked Krishna, you're the only person who can help me out. Now stop our relationship as a friend. Now I'm not considered as a friend. I'm considered as my teacher, my master. You teach me. You scold me. I'm giving all rights for you to do anything with me if it is helping me to uplift my consciousness. So that confidence Arjuna gave to Krishna. That's what we see in the last discussion also. And today we'll be seeing how Krishna reciprocates by doing a spiritual analysis of entire situation. So when we are tired up, exhausted with material analysis, we should approach a preceptor in our life who can actually give us spiritual analysis of the situation. No? Because material analysis only makes you more discouraged, hopeless, and sometimes it may even misdirect a person in a wrong direction. Or it may take you in a wrong direction. So therefore, it's essential that we should do a spiritual analysis of the entire situation. And now Krishna is doing that in this Bhagavad Gita chapter, text number 11 onwards. So Rajiv Pandey Prabhu will be discussing briefly on the 11th number verse to 20th verse. This is one part of analysis. We will continue the next few sessions in the second weeks to come. Okay. Hare Krishna. Rajiv Prabhu is now. You will have maybe 10 or 15 minutes. You can take it.
Yeah, we'll. Yeah, okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, we'll speak only 10 minutes only. Yeah.
You want me to share the verse here or not?
Yeah, you can share the verse. Yeah. Or no issues, I can do. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity. We'll start with the prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunidam Mena Tashmai Sri Gure Namah. Jai Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnyavadi Pashati Desitarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So today we'll discuss from second chapter, verse number 11 to 20. So as just now Prabhu, Balaram Govind Prabhu was saying, like the scene is where like Arjuna is lamenting and he becomes compassionate towards their relatives, towards his guru and Bhishma, and he don't want to fight. So here Lord Krishna started telling him about to help him to like how to get out of from this. So we'll start from verse 11. I will just read the translation and then we'll discuss. So translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So we can see here Krishna is saying to Arjuna, like you are not talking, like you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, they should know that what is body and what is soul. And those who know about the concept, they do not lament on this. And like here in purport, Prabhupada very nicely explained that Arjuna was arguing on these religious principles, that it is much important than a like religious principles are very important than a politics or sociology. But he did not know that the knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme is even more important than religious formulas. We see in our real life also, people see as a religious, as a karma kanda. So they understand their concept is like, if we know the religious principles, we know everything. It's like better than politics, sociology, economics, anything. So this type of concept, but they are doing everything. We see in our real life, like everyone is busy in the is doing karma kanda, any religious thing, but they don't have a understanding what is soul, what is matter, who is supreme soul. They don't know anything, but they are busy in unnecessary things. So here Krishna is saying to Arjuna, like, if you know, you are acting like a learned man, but you don't know what exactly the what is soul and what is matter. Like, those who very learned, they should not lament on this whatever like Arjuna in this situation is thinking, because we know that the body is burned and it is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. But in the case of soul, it doesn't happen like this. It is very eternal. So here, like Krishna saying to Arjuna, to why you are become lamenting, if you and you're if you're thinking like you're a learned man, so you should understand what is the body and what is soul. Going to the next verse, verse number 12. Translation: Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So here, Arjuna, Krishna saying clearly that whatever is happening on the ground, he knows everything. He knows the past, he knows the future, he knows the present. So he's saying that actually the Lord is eternally the maintainer of the individual living entities, both in conditioned and their liberated situations. And we say sometimes we see that Mayavadi thinks like after liberation, individual soul separated by the covering of Maya and then will merge into Brahmana. But actually, it is not like this. The supreme authority has he has Krishna has given the different concept to understand how this how what is soul, who we are, who is Atma, who is Paramatma. We need to understand these two things. So here, like Krishna is explaining about this, that this is the soul that is already existing, and you are all there, and these all kings are were in there, and in future there will be. So soul is like exists for all time. So in this verse, he is explaining this one, and going to the next verse, verse number 13. Translation: As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, and the soul similarly passes into another body at death, a sober person is not bewildered by such change. It's a very, very important verse in this chapter. So here, Krishna is explaining, like as we see, like from when we take birth, so from children to we become adolescents, then become adult, then we become old age. See this here, Krishna is explaining our body is changing, and soul similarly passes into another body, and one day the body will dead, but the soul is not. Soul will just pass to another body. This is the nature. So here we need to understand that here Prabhupada is explaining that changes in the body, like death, like transmigrate to another body, and since it is sure to have another next birth, either material or spiritual, and there was no cause of lamentation. So here, like Arjuna, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna why you are lamenting. So if you understand this science, you understand this concept that uh, after even death, yeah, like the body is like dying, but the soul will remain. And he explained that Arjuna, like on account of death, neither for Bhisma or not Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. He's very concerned about the Drona and Bhisma. So he, Krishna explains that that they will be die either today or tomorrow. They must be die because the body is in such a way that we have like if it has taken the birth, it will die, but soul will remain. And he also explained that according to one's work in life, people get the next life. So he is also explaining, Krishna is also explaining to Arjuna that since Bhima and Drona has Bhishma and Drona has some noble, they are noble souls. They will go to the spiritual, they will get the spiritual bodies in the next life, and or like at least they will get in heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment. So why you are lamenting? In either case, we see that there is no cause of any lamentation because they have already, they will get another spiritual world. So here in this verse, Krishna is explaining. We'll go to the 14th verse. Translation: O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. They arise from sense perception, ocean of Bharata. One must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So here Lord Krishna explaining that this is a non-permanent appearance. This is a temporary uh, thing because see, it's like of happiness and distress. One, it will come and then it will go. But in any situation, we should not uh, like become so unmotivated. Here in like Prabhupada giving on a very nice example from Vedic injunction. So we see like in those who are devotee, those who practice the devotional life, they wake up very early in the morning, uh, whether it is a summer or winter. We see usually people sleeps a lot during winter. But Prabhupada is saying at the month of Magh, like in January or February, whether it is a cold, in spite of this, a man who abides by the religious principle does not hesitate to take his bath. So we see, like Prabhupada is saying, whatever the situation is, whatever in any circumstances, whatever principles we should like we should always follow. We see in the case of women also, they cooked in the kitchen in the month of May, June. We know that it's a very hottest part of the summer season, but still they are doing their own their responsibility. They are like they are cooking for us. So as a religious principle, like as a kshatriya, they have one religious thing that they should fight. They should not think about this friend, relative, son, wife. They have their prescribed duty. So is Krishna explaining to Arjuna that yeah, you should fight. You should not lament on this. We'll go to the next verse, verse number 15. Translation: O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. So here, like Krishna explaining to Arjuna, those who don't like get distressed by by their situation, they is the real eligible for getting liberation. Here, Prabhupada is giving a very nice example in our One Ashram institution. Like there are fourth stage, namely a renounce order. There is a last stage of renounce order, sannyasi. It's a very difficult, like painstaking situation. When as Prabhupada also, he was a grihastha. So those who are brahmachari ashram, they also took sannyas. Those who are from grihastha, they also later, after taking vanaprastha, they also took sannyas. So we see in this situation, if someone is getting sannyas, they like follow a very difficult path, and they go through very difficult challenges. They have to give up their connection with wife, children, father, mother, everyone. And we see the example of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that at the age of 24, he left his home, and still like one young wife and older mother was there, but for the higher cause he took sannyas, and he like steady in discharge of higher duties. And this is the way of achieving liberation from material bondage. So this is how explaining Prabhupada in this verse. We'll go to the verse number 16. In translation, those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. So here, Prabhupada explaining that that body is changing every moment by the action and reaction of different cells is admitted by modern medical science. So we can see that medical science also have proved that we have a different cells, and this is how the body works. That once we take the birth, the body changes. The body changes from the child to adult, and then it become old and old. But in this case, the spirit soul, that is our real consciousness that is driving our body, it exists permanently. So it not get as a it doesn't change. It doesn't change to from youth to adult and then old. It is not like that. Like despite of all the changes in the body and the mind, like there is no change in the soul, because soul is permanent. And like one can understand the nature of the supreme by through study of oneself also. If someone understand themselves, the problem will be solved. Here like in real life also, many people ask what is the real cause of suffering. So they should understand that the real cause of understanding is not knowing about themselves. This is the real cause of misery. If someone understand who am I, what soul is, what matter is, who is Atma, who is Paramatma, then we can solve one of the maximum like big miseries we will be able to solve in our life. We should understand who is the supreme and what is the relationship between of the Atma and Paramatma. So this is the 16th verse. We'll go to 17th verse. 17th verse, that which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. So here in this verse we can understand that it's saying that this is the uh, soul is the thing which is indestructible, which cannot be destroyed, and this one is which is actually driving the whole body. And how we can understand? We can understand by our consciousness. See, in like in purport, Prabhupada is explaining, anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. It is consciousness. We understand this by on very like very nice example. Prabhupada said, like when we feel the pain and the pleasure, if some insect bite us, we feel some pain. But if someone slap, we only feel the same slap and the pain, not the other one. That means the consciousness is that limited to our only body. And here Prabhupada is also explaining, since yeah, see, if our stomach is paining or something, like there is a pain in our leg or hand, we don't apply medicines to, we don't to like apply medicine in the leg or hand. We just take it in from mouth only, and it will work inside that also. So similarly, this consciousness is spread all over the body. So here like in this verse, Prabhupada is explaining this one. And from Swet Vastra Upanishad also, it is very proven, and it is also explained like how this, what is the size of the soul. So it is said that the when the upper point of the hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of the such 100 parts further divided into 100 parts, each such part is the measure of dimension of the spirit soul. We can that means we can understand that the soul is described as one of 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair. So we can understand the size of the soul. Even like any medical field, even microscopic thing, uh, cannot see it. We see in this material world, medical big scientists, they are claiming that there is no soul. We can't see it. We can't see it because its size is so small that even a small thing like we use one instrument, that microscope, we cannot see by that using that tool also. So here Prabhupada explaining about the size of the atomic soul. We'll go to the next verse, verse number 18. Translation: the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal divinity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. So, Krishna is explaining Arjuna that this material body is once, if it is getting birth, that means it should be die one day. It will be destruct one day. So, we should understand what is the body and what is soul. And if body is dying, that doesn't mean that the soul is also dying. Soul is a different entity, and we have to understand. And that's why there is no point of lamentation. So he is explaining in this verse that we should understand what is soul and what is this material body. Then we'll go to the next verse, 19. Translation: neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it slain is in knowledge, for the self slays not nor is slain. So in purport, Prabhupada explains like when an embodied living entity is hurt by fatal weapons, it is to be known that the living entity within the body is not killed. It's very, very important thing we need to understand. Like from the Vedic injection, there is a one very nice Ma Himsat Sarva Bhutani. There is a very nice verse Prabhupada has mentioned. Like it's saying that never commit violence to anyone, nor does understanding that the living entity is not killed and encourage animal slaughter. So he gives a very nice example that uh, if someone like in this material or is like may they can think like if we are killing the animals, that means he is not killed. The soul is there, and we can kill the body. So like if you think like this, like slaughterhouse, people will misunderstand this all about this concept if they don't understand the proper understanding of material and soul. So slaughterhouse may get encouraged, but here we see uh, like Arjuna is killing on the principle of religion and not whimsically. He is killing the enemies on the from the because Krishna has told him. He's not whimsically killing. Like people, they think that we can kill and we will not get, but we get punishable by the law, state, and by the Lord. But we should understand that by the principles, religious principles, Arjuna is killing their enemies on the battlefield. So in this verse is Prabhupada explaining. We'll go to the next verse, verse number 20. So 20 translation: for the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, he does not come into being, and he will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So this is a very important verse is there. It completely explains what exactly the soul is and what the body is. Saying like we cannot, like soul is not taking birth or death. And hence from this concept only we can understand that soul, if it is not taking birth, it will not get death. It will not get destroyed. So, as it is happening with the material body, we see the material body is taking birth, and that's why it is uh, one day it will be destroyed. But in the case of soul, it's saying like Prabhupada is mentioning in this verse, like it doesn't have any birth or death. So we can understand the real, what is the what is the real meaning of the soul. We see that in this material body, we see the changes from childhood to youth to adult. But in case of soul, we don't see any changes. And the soul is not born, but because he has taken on the material body, the body takes its birth. And the soul does not take birth, and hence the soul does not die. Soul, since the soul is not taking birth, anything which has birth also has a death. And because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, no present, no future. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Rajiv Prabhu, thank you so much. You have spoken on a very important highlights from Prabhupada purpose. In fact, each verse is a which you can do discussion for entire class like that. These are very, very crucial verses in Bhagavad Gita. Most of the contents of Bhagavad Gita and the next 18 chapters, 17 chapters or 16 chapters are covered within this chapter. It gives a synopsis. Chapter number 2 gives a synopsis of entire concepts which Krishna is going to speak to Arjuna in elaborate way. But he gives precise. That is the very eloquence of Krishna. Krishna is very special personality. When Arjuna is crying, he is smiling. When Arjuna is crying, he is smiling. And when Arjuna is questioning, he is counter questioning. And in counter questioning is answering the concepts. That's very basic, very fundamental spiritual concepts. Any of you who say that, Prabhu, I am a devotee practicing Krishna consciousness, or you say I am an Indian who has understanding of the Vedic knowledge, they must have at least a basic idea of all these concepts which Krishna is speaking here. It's like ABCD of spiritual life. In school, you are made to learn ABCD first. And you are told to write it A, B, 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 like that. So that becomes the basis on which further knowledge is. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 gives a very fundamental concepts of spirituality, which are very crucial for us to go ahead and understanding the perspective which Krishna is going to share in the further topics, further chapters. So we thank Rajiv Prabhu for his wonderful explanation and pointing out very crucial principles. So we will just echo in whatever Rajiv Prabhu mentioned by reciting the verses, and we'll speak briefly on that verses. Okay. So I'll be sharing a screen here. Are you able to see? 2.11.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can see.
So Krishna is chastising Arjuna. So this is a very important concept. Krishna is chastising Arjuna. See in this photo, Arjuna became very humble. And Krishna who is just a Radha Sarathi. Radha Sarathi is like the driver. And actually, he is not only driving Arjuna's chariot ahead, he is also driving Arjuna as an eternal soul, he heard in spiritual knowledge. So therefore, it's very quite befitting picture in which Arjuna is being guided. Therefore, we should tell, there's a famous statement, give the reins of our life in the hands of Krishna. अपना जीवन की जो डोरी है वो भगवान के हाथ में दे दो, कहते हैं. So actually Arjuna is doing that now. Arjuna is giving the reins of his life in the hands of Krishna. But Krishna does not do any orchestra until unless he is confident about the person who is in the team. The orchestra, whenever it happens, music orchestra, there should be a good symphony or a proper tuning of all the other instruments. So Arjuna is going to tune with Krishna, sometimes with his questions, sometimes with his exclamations. He is going to tune with the Krishna and further take us ahead in this song of Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita is called a song of God. A beautiful song which not only gives you understanding of your reality, but also upgrades you in the consciousness. So what Krishna is chastising Arjuna of is basic concept. Today in the next, we have around 40 minutes. In the next 40 minutes, what we are discussing is simple. You are not this body, you are spirit soul. This is the first basic fundamental concept which Krishna is teaching Arjuna. You are not this body. So if you are not this body, why are you so much bothered about bodily relationships? If you are not this body, how it matters body exists or dies? If you are not this body, why you feel sorrow when somebody leaves the body or the body is dead? Or why you feel rejoiced when some body is saved? Because you are not this body. It has nothing to do with this soul. Soul has its own existence. And we like body because of soul's presence. Who is the person you like the most? Can anyone tell? Who is the person we like the most? Yeah. Anybody would like to answer? Who is the person we like the most?
Ourselves.
Yeah, ourselves. Why we like ourselves very much? Because this body is very close to the soul, very close to ourselves. So therefore we like our body. The fact that we like our body is because we like our soul, ourselves. That is our soul. And therefore you can reflect it. You can expand it into another theory. Because we like ourselves, that means we like our soul very much. That soul is a part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, actually and naturally, each one of us like Krishna very much than anything else. If you are spending a lot of time with your body, decorating it, maintaining it, like that, bodily consciousness, that means actually you are connected to Krishna only, indirectly. You are liking Krishna, and that gets reflected in liking the body. But however, this bodily connection what we have has to be understood from a proper perspective. This identification. If we don't have proper knowledge of the identification with this body, then we may get fooled in our life. That is what Krishna is trying to instruct Arjuna. The truly wise do not mistake the body to be the self. and lament neither for the living nor for the dead. They don't lament. Because you are different from this body, so deal at that level. Just like yesterday we have one proper disciple, Jivanananda Prabhu. He is very amazing personality. He has taken up Vanaprastha and is now sure heading towards the sannyas. He is already initiating Guru within this form. So he was sharing how the entire spiritual concepts are made very clear by Srila Prabhupada in his books. And Prabhupada never deviated from the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is very simple, to the point. It's very clear. You just need to accept it as it is. So here is mentioned, the concept is, if you are a wise person, Arjuna, you should not lament for the body because you are not this body. Basically, that is the concept. Clear? So, and if you are not this body, that all the relationships which you are considered bodily level, they are also not yours. And they are also not their bodies. And if their bodies are dying, their bodies are destroyed, why you lament for it? So, we laid the words. Somebody can unmute. Maybe we'll go from the Akash Prabhu. And please recite up. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Ashochan Anvasocastvam.
Asochanna Vanna Vasho Achasattvam.
Very complicated recitation. Asochan Anvasocastvam.
Asochanan Vaso Sattvam.
Prajna Vadamsya Bhashase.
Pragyavadansya bhasase.
Gatasun Agatasun cha.
Gatasunsa.
Nanu Sochanti Pandita.
Nanu Sochanti Pandita.
Here each line is very amazing. Asochan Anvasocastvam. What is not supposed to lament for, you are lamenting for that. Arjuna, till now, what he lamented about? He lamented about protecting the Kauravas, protecting Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and everyone from the jaws of death. Because in youth, in the war field, surely it will happen. Somebody has to die. And Arjuna has that confidence. Arjuna has the confidence that he is going to, if at all he fights, he will fight very properly. And then many of them have to lay their lives. So he is lamenting about their lives. And what Krishna is saying, Are Baba, why you are lamenting about them? Asochin Anvasocastam. They are not supposed to be lamented about. Because this Dhritarashtra sons, Kauravas, headed by Duryodhana, they lived a life of heinous life, creating a lot of problem for others. They lived on the principle of sinful activity. Such people die, you should rejoice it, not lament about it. So, Asochan Anvasocastam. Don't lament for someone. And second is a Prajna Vadamsha Bhashase. You spoken big words till now. बड़ी बड़ी बात बोले आपने, धर्मशास्त्र, अर्थशास्त्र, ये शास्त्र, वो शास्त्र, बट आपको ये नहीं समझ में आते हैं कि ये जो प्रज्ञा आपने इतना विस्तार रूप में बताया था, ये बताने के बाद फिर आप रो रहे हैं. Wise people don't lament. Panditaha don't lament for living or non-living. Gatansa matlab from gata soon agata sooncha. In the body, like for example, we have this gross body, each one of us. And we have 5 life airs within the body. Apana, Udana, Vyana, Prana. Huh? So like that, we have 5 life airs within the body. The prana remains, every day you get some prana. In the night when you sleep, you get up in the morning, you feel very refreshed. Is it not? Many of you may be feeling sleepy now. So you don't sleep now. You hear the class. So it happens that after sleeping sufficiently, next day when you get up, you feel very rejoiced, or you feel really energetic. From where that energy came? Is it that you are charging yourself to a power supply and a socket, you kept one charge adapter and connected to you on the brain or any other ears? That we don't do, is it not? Because from where that energy is coming then? The question is where the energy is coming. That energy is coming from prana. Your prana is fixed for entire lifetime. And every day some quota comes to you. And you drain that energy. And next day some other quota comes. So this is prana vayu. This is the life air. Like that, there are many other airs are there. Total 5 airs are there. Apana, Udana, Vyana. So what happens at the time of death? Your gross body remains here only. In the hospital or on the deathbed. It remains. But what goes out is the prana, the life air. And along with life air, the subtle body also goes away. That is your mind intelligence. And ego. And along with this mind intelligence ego goes also the Atma, the soul. But the gross body remains here. So Gatansu means what? That gross body from which the life has went away. Life went away. Agatansum se matlab, that body from which life air did not move out. That is subtle body. So both the gross body and subtle body, you should not lament about. Because the gross body anyway will die one day. And the subtle body will go life after life till the time the person becomes liberated. His mind will remain with you. The mind which you have right now with you is that mind with which we came many millions of years back in this metal world. And we have many experiences in many lifetimes. And all that are stored in the mind. And that mind is coming with you. Therefore, now your mind will always disturb you. Because it has so much subject matter of lifetimes, which it wants to share with you and enjoy. So therefore, or enjoy or suffer, whatever the psychological need is. So therefore, Krishna says, you are speaking like a wise man, but you are lamenting like this. This doesn't befit you. Prajnavadam shabashate gatan agatum sumsya nanu sochanti pandita. So Krishna is chastising Arjuna. So Krishna says, till now Arjuna, you spoke about Artha Shastra, Dharma Shastra, but there is another important higher knowledge, that is knowledge of soul, knowledge of the body and soul, differentiating them. That is called a Jnana Shastra. So one has to keep his life centered around the teachings based on Jnana Shastra. That is Bhagavad Gita. And after that, the Dharma Shastras and Artha Shastras will take their positions. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you cannot lament like this. You're speaking like a big knowledgeable person, but you don't have any understanding. What is understanding? He doesn't differentiate. Who is a fool, number one? Fool is the one who doesn't differentiate between body and soul. Why animals and human beings are differentiated? Why they're given a lot of priority for human beings? Because animals cannot think beyond their bodily understanding. If you tell an animal, you're not his body, you're spirit, soul, it's not possible for it to live, keep it in practice. But as a human being, each one of us have that facility. Therefore, we see this aspect. So Krishna is chastising Arjuna. So then the question comes, Arjuna may argue, अर्जुना को बोला कृष्ण ने, देखो ये जो बॉडी है ना, इसके लिए लैमेंट करने का मतलब नहीं है, क्योंकि एक दिन आएगा जो बॉडी निकल जाएगा। वो मन को बारे में भी चिंता करने का जरूरत नहीं, क्योंकि जो आपकी कौरवों और जो भी आपकी अपोजिट कड़ा है और आपकी तरफ भी कड़ा है, वो भी जो मरने वाले हैं, हाँ, वो लोग भी, what is happening with them is that they have the subtle body and mind, subtle body which comprise of mind. वो तो मरेगा भी नहीं कभी, जब तक मुक्ति नहीं होगा वो मरेगा नहीं, एक जीवन से दूसरा जीवन जाते रहेगा। सो जो मरेगा नहीं उसके लिए लोग की चिंता क्यों कर रहे हैं? हाँ, so these two things are very important. You should not lament, a wise should not lament for something which is inevitable. It will happen. बॉडी एक ना एक दिन निकल जाएगा शरीर से, मतलब आत्मा will leave the body at one time or other. उसके लिए चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं, और द मन के लिए चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं, क्योंकि मन हमेशा रहेगा जब तक मुक्ति नहीं होता। और आत्मा के स्तर पे बात करना, आत्मा हमेशा इटर्नल है। So therefore here Krishna in this verse 2.12, he is not referring to the body of kings and soldiers. He is speaking about the soul, not even gross body, not even subtle body. He is speaking about the soul. Yeah, please repeat, recite for me, Amit Dudepur. You are there, na? Haribol?
Hare Krishna Guru.
Yeah. Natvevaham jatu nasam. Yeah, please recite.
Hare Krishna Guru. Not able to hear actually.
Okay. Natvevaham jatu nasam.
नात्वा एवं जातु नासम
Natvam neme janadipa.
नात्वाम नेमे जनाधिपा
Nachaivana bhavishyama.
न चैवा न भविष्यामा
Sarve vayam atha param.
सर्वे वयम अतः परम.
In the earlier verse, Krishna told Arjuna that you should not lament unnecessarily for that body which is anyway going to be destroyed. And even that body, subtle body, which will always going after life after life, it remains. It doesn't die till the time one gets mukti or liberation from this body. And soul के लिए lament करने का मतलब नहीं है, क्योंकि soul हमेशा eternal है. So here, therefore, in the text number 12, Krishna further tells, Natveham jatu nasham natvam neme janadipaha nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve. वो कह रहे हैं कि यहाँ जो उपस्थित, you see in this Kurukshetra war, there are many, 18 Akshahonis are there, 17 Akshahonis are there total. And it comprises a big number of soldiers in each Akshahoni. It's like in crores. The number of people who assembled in the Kurukshetra war to fight with each other in crores. 40 crore people died in Kurukshetra war. 40 crore? Yeah, 40 crore. People on the both sides combined. So what died? Arjuna is being told, Arey, what died is only the gross body. But all the soldiers who left, they had their earlier life and they are going to have the future life also. That's what he's telling in the text number 12. So it's very important. Natvevaham jatu nacham, natvam nemenama. All these kings, O Arjuna and yourself, we all, and myself, Krishna says, we all existed in earlier and now we are existing, and in the future also will exist, continue to exist. Sarve vayam matap param. Achaivana bhavishyam. So we always exist. Who are? Yourself, your family people, family members on your side, Pandavas, and also the opposite side, Kauravas, and myself. Each one of us will we remained earlier, we are remaining now, and we're going to remain. Only thing what changes is the body. When body changes, certainly your varna also changes. Arjuna, in the earlier life, he might not be in this particular body as a Kshatriya. He might be in another place, in another varna. So like that, Krishna is trying to educate that don't worry. In this Kurukshetra war, people are, body only is going to die. They are not going to die. This is very important. Then Krishna started speaking the knowledge of the soul. Therefore, it's called as Sankhya Yoga, analysis based on scriptures, scriptural analysis. Yeah, please recite. Who will? Arjuna Prabhu. Dehinosmin yada dehe
Dehinosmin yata dehe
kaumaram yuvanam jara
Kaumaram yuvanam jara
dehantara prapte
Tata dehantara prapte
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते.
Dhirastatra namayati.
So अर्जुना में आर्ग्यू, अरे कृष्णा ठीक है, आप कह रहे हैं कि जो बॉडी मरता है एंड आप चिंता मत करो क्योंकि हम लोग पहले भी थे अभी भी थे. तो कृष्णा, अर्जुना नेवर रिमेम्बर्ड इट, देयरफॉर ही इज ए लिविंग एंटिटी. Krishna has to remind him, and Krishna always remembers it because he is omniscient, he is God. So in that way we can differentiate who is a jiva and who is a God. Jiva means he is forgetful. Somebody has to remind him. Some guru has to come to give him knowledge. But for Bhagavan, the knowledge has come from Bhagavan. The knowledge has come from Bhagavan. He is the ultimate source of all the knowledge. So that's how the jiva, living entity, and the soul are differentiated. And here in this particular verse, what is being spoken is Dehinosmin yadade. So Arjuna is arguing now. He tells Krishna, "Theek hai, I should not lament, because everyone is going to exist. But now I see they are with me. How can I kill them? Drona, Bhishma, they are in the family. Just because they are not this body, how can I kill them? That is not justified." So Krishna, therefore, he says, Dehi nosmin yada dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. Oh Arjuna, understand this principle. Each one of you, not only each one of you, including Bhishma, Drona, everyone, you have taken birth. So your body has taken birth. You are there always. The Dehina is always there, but the Deha has come. In the Deha, the Dehi is there. You understanding? In the body, there is soul. When you say you are not this body, it doesn't mean that you are somebody else's body. You are not this body means you are staying within this body. You are separate. For example, I tell this room in which I am living right now. This is me. This room is Balaram Govindas. ऐसा नहीं बोलते ना? In this room, Balaram Govindas stays. Like that. So Dehina is the occupier. And the Dehi is the place where he occupied it. So Dehi nosmin yada dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. So this place where you occupied this body, it is changing even in this life. Arjuna, you have to understand that. In this life also, you are changing from boyhood to youth and from youth to old age. And especially Arjuna, you see, when you change your body from childhood to youth, you rejoice. Sometimes we have samskaras. When the age of puberty comes, then everyone rejoices in the house. Especially when the girls reach puberty, there's a grand celebration in the house. When she becomes menses, there's a grand celebration. This is the Vedic system. And similarly, when the boy becomes matured, immediately there's a grand celebration for him also in the form of the Upanayana. They give him that Brahman thread to do scriptural studies. So this is the Vedic concept. So you feel very rejoiced when you grow from childhood to youth. But oh Arjuna, same way when that body from youth to when it becomes old, you lament. Is it not? People lament, अरे प्रभु मेरा बाल पक गया है, थोड़ा हेयर डाई यूज करना पड़ता है, हर दिन यूज कर रहा हूँ प्रभु जी अच्छा दिखने के लिए। अरे अच्छा क्या, बूढ़ा हो रहे हैं, आपकी जो शरीर है बूढ़ा हो रहा है। जब आप यंग हो रहे थे खुशी में थे, अभी बूढ़ा हो रहे थे दुख में है। हाँ। तो दुख में मत रहो अर्जुन, क्योंकि एक ऐसा टाइम आएगा जब मृत्यु क्या करते हैं, आपकी बुढ़ा शरीर को फिर यौवन शरीर बना देगा। You see the picture here in that in this particular presentation. The child is very joyful, joyful. Till he became, till he got one book in his hand, you see, he became serious. He became serious because he got married. He's not understanding whether I have to smile or I have to cry. So he becomes serious more. Then as he grows more, he gets into anxiety because the body also is not supporting him. Some or other problem is there. Some heart problem, some brain problem, some knee problem, back problem, gas problem, appetite problem, sleeplessness. Such things are start occupying the body. And now Krishna is saying, Arjuna, they are going to get a new body. Tada dehantara praptir. They are going to get a new body after that. They'll fresh again, they'll start as a small boy after the death. They'll get a fresh body. The old worn out body will go away. Dhiras tatranam hiyati. One who is sober person, he doesn't lament about this change which is happening. This change is for good. Understand, dear Prabhus and Matajis. Whatever change happens in life is for good. So Arjuna is being told by Krishna. Krishna is saying this is very good for them. Therefore you fight. So with the concept of Jnana Shastra, Krishna is trying to convince Arjuna to take to this concept. Very, very important verses. So we are not this body, we are spiritual. Who are we? Who are you? So this we do in device sessions. Many of you might have attended it earlier. So this is a very, and those who did not attend, Murari Gopal Prabhu, you are there here. So our Rajiv Prabhu is going to start online sessions on the basic concepts of Bhagavad Gita, on basic concepts of the soul, in the form of Discover Yourself course. You may ask some of your students to be a part of it. They can learn very elaborately. So our body is made basically of chemicals. So, but you are not just these chemicals. You are different from these chemicals. Just like you see here, the old lady, she wanted to take care of one parrot. So what happened? She brought a beautiful cage, very nicely designed cage, and she kept the parrot in the cage. She brought the cage to take care of the parrot. However, what happened? She got attracted to the cage so much that every day she used to take care of the cage. Ensure the cage is free from dust. She used to clean. Whenever the polish goes down, she repolishes it. But she became so busy in taking care of the cage that she did not have time for taking care of the parrot within the cage. The Dehina, the cage is occupied by the parrot. The parrot has not given any attention. So soon, sometime came the parrot died. So we see, we also have this body. This is like a cage in which we are there. We are bounded. Therefore, we come out crying. In birth, we cry because we are going to get further bounded. Mother womb is already bounding, very suffocating. But I am coming to a world which is further suffocating. Arey, when I'll get chutkari from this? Therefore, the baby comes out crying. It's not a good choice I've taken. Coming again in the human form of coming again in this metal world, in a metal body. It cries. So you see the parrot was not taken care. The cage is taken. Similarly, many people, most of us, we take care of our bodily needs. We work hard so that our basic bodily needs are taken care. And we think about different types of activities so that we can keep our mind and intelligence stout or entertaining. We do all those things, but we forget to address the soul within this body, the gross and subtle body. That we don't address. This is what is being. So, and there are many scientific proofs for existence of the soul. These are the 4 proofs which are given. Common sense. When somebody lives, we say he has passed away. But who has passed away? The body is there. See, actually, we are interested in the object of love. What is the object of love? आप किसको प्यार करते हैं? शरीर को प्यार करते हैं, व्यक्ति को प्यार करते हैं? वो शरीर को प्यार इसीलिए करते हैं क्योंकि शरीर में व्यक्ति जो है आपसे वार्तालाप कर रहे हैं, आपसे व्यवहार कर रहे हैं, is dealing with you. You find the reciprocation of that person. Therefore, you also like this body. And you lament because the body is no more going to be a means for reciprocating with your person. Person has gone away. Is reciprocating through which he is to do, that phone became dead. जब phone dead हो जाता है ना, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Like that, the body becomes dead. This is one common sense. Second is consciousness. So, just like our Rajiv Prabhu is telling, when I pinch my hand here, what happens? It pains. So, entire body, there is a consciousness, this brain. So, that is the nature, that is the one of the quality of the soul. That is the second proof. That means, for example, this mouse is there in my hand. Okay. If I hit it or pinch it, it will not feel any pain because in this there is no consciousness. That means there is no soul. But you take a hen, you take a goat and cut it, it starts shouting, yelling and everything. Why? It is feeling pain. There is a consciousness within them. That means they have a soul. That means they are living. So therefore, in spiritual life, we are told not to break regulative principles, especially meditating. Because meditating, you are denying the fact that even animals have a soul. Okay? Very important. They have the consciousness. Any living entity has consciousness, that is living. That means the soul is there. Even people who are in coma, they are conscious of the surroundings through their ears. Okay? They only cannot express it out. They are conscious, but they cannot express it out. So that consciousness shows the existence of the soul. So the third proof for the soul is near-death experience. Like many of the people, these are very famous stories you can find in Google also, near-death experience. A person went through a severe surgery, big surgery, and he observed himself watching the doctors working on his body. He said, when I given anesthesia, I went in like deep sleep. And after some time, when I opened my eyes, I saw that I was on the sky. And from sky, I'm observing the patient room or the OT. In that OT, I'm seeing the doctors are working on a body. When I closely observe the body, face, then I realize it is myself. So people have these near-death experiences. Being out of the body. The experience. And this is one of the proofs. And then another proof is reincarnation. It's very elaborate. reincarnation. What is the concept of reincarnation? That means after death, when the gross body dies, gross body goes, the subtle body remains, soul remains. So both the soul and subtle body, they leave the body. And that is called death. And these two go away. And what happens? The subtle soul with the subtle body, it takes to another body. Tada dehantara praptir. After the end of this life, the soul goes to another body. So that is a fact. It goes to another body. That is called a reincarnation. So many of the children, these are a great professor, or you can say Stevenson University professor of psychiatry. He did a lot of research, and especially the children. Why children are being spoken? Because when you take birth in the earlier life, in the earlier ages of your life, you remember some things or you experience something which are not practically seen that time. You feel like you have been somewhere else. बचपन में होता है, वो सब बात कहते हैं, but लोग विश्वास नहीं करते. But he started doing research. In that research, he found there are many storybooks. The phobias. Sometimes you have phobia, water phobia, fire phobia, heights phobia. बड़े-बड़े height से देखना आपको डर लगता है. Somebody have a valley phobia. If they're in a valley, in a deep, dark mountain cave inside, valley, they feel very fearful. Like we have water tanks in the cities, in the towns. If you go under the water tank, you will see very big structure, and above there is water. You feel very scared sometimes. The fact that we feel scared is because we have experience of it in our previous life. In the previous life, maybe you have died because of drowning in the water. And that experience is with the subtle body, mind. So mind goes into another body, which you take birth. So in that entire fears remain. Arey, पानी में जाएंगे तो मर जाएंगे. So that concept has taken a phobia. So like that, the phobia concept can be explained, or reincarnation could be explained. So this is what, and then the consciousness, like difference in the temperament of twins. There are two twins. They look similar. The color is similar. The way they talk, the voice is similar. But you see the nature is quite different. That means what? Your gross body is same, but subtle body is different. The way you think, the other person may not think like that. So when subtle body is different, naturally the soul is also different. So in this way, this proves has been. And reincarnation, Dr. Einstein gives very famous example. This happened in Bengal itself. The small girl remembered her previous life as a gentle lady with an husband and children, living in a particular place. She remembered the place. She remembered all the names of the relatives. When she actually was taken there, she started identifying that place as her own. How this happened? This happens because of reincarnation. This also we can elaborate here from Rajiv Pandey Prabhu's sessions, which he will be taking online. Anyone wants to register for it, they can register. I will share the details accordingly. So she remembered her husband's name, her in-laws' names, and their nicknames which they use in home. So this reincarnation shows that there is existence of soul. Very important. So I will conclude here, and we'll continue further discussion in the next sessions. Hare Krishna. So anyone has any questions, they can ask me. They can leave. Tomorrow morning we'll meet for Bhagavatam sessions. Hare Krishna. So I think one question came from Arjuna. I'll answer. Acha, Rekha Rani. She mentioned my mother also remembered her past birth. She told, yeah, it's possible. If children are encouraged when they speak something like this, not everyone remembers because it's very Krishna makes you forget. Why he makes you forget? So that you can enjoy this world. If you remember the way you died in the last life, you really fear relating with the people or going outside or something like that. So Krishna makes you forget so that you can enjoy this world. Forget and just go ahead. Because Krishna wants to see that that we want to enjoy. So Krishna allows that opportunity to forget. Yeah. So this is very important. These are scientific facts, what we discussed. So Arjuna Prabhu asked, is the size of soul different for different organisms? So just like in the elephant body also there is a soul. The elephant also has a subtle body, mind, intelligence, and similarly, an ant is also has a soul. So his question is the soul of elephant is bigger inside than the soul of ant? So, well, it's not like that. The soul has its original bodily form. But when it comes to spirit in the material world, it shrinks. It shrinks in the size, not in the shape. To understand this principle, okay? The soul shrinks in the size, not in original shape. And it can shrink to such an extent as the Rajiv Prabhu mentioned, quoting the Bhagavad Gita. Balasya Shatabhagasya, no? You take the tip of a hair and cut it 100 times and take one more small part and then cut it 100 times. Very small. That much size the soul can shrink. So it shrinks to that size when it comes to material world. And like that, it remains in the heart of every living body. There's a difference between living body and a dead body. Dead matter, living matter and dead matter. Living matter goes through 6 changes. Like you take birth, the body takes birth, it grows for some times. And then after it maintains, it gives some byproducts. So that is the set, where the body goes to 6 changes. 6 changes, transformation. Birth, growth, maintenance, giving byproducts, declining and death. There are 6 changes which a living body goes through. But a dead matter, like just as I gave the example of mouse. This mouse, it only created and it can be destroyed. But it will not go through other 4 stages. That is, it will not grow on its own. It will not get any small mouse. Okay, the big mouse and it has a child mouse coming out. That type of byproducts won't be there. So the size of the soul is strings. The shape doesn't go away. The shape remains. And like that, it remains in every body. So the size of the soul is just to give an understanding for you how much crucial it is. So therefore, size of the soul doesn't differentiate from different organisms. This is small only. It gets expanded. The soul is a small size. It gets expanded only when you have the consciousness uplifted. When spiritually you become consciousness, then only the size of the soul expands. And it comes to original form in which it remains in the spiritual world. So basically, to answer in a simple terms, in your term, the soul, the size of the soul remains as what mentioned in the Shastra, irrespective of what body it occupies. Whether it is an elephant, it's an ant, the size of the soul remains. But what can evolve, what can expand inside is the consciousness of the soul. The soul cannot, will increase in shape based on that thought which is having. Yeah. Does it answer your question, Aruna Prabhu? Is it there?
Yeah, Prabhuji, not exactly, because what I wanted to understand is that, see, the viruses and the bacteria, they also have souls, correct? So since our human hair and the dimensions that has been given, so when we arrive at the specifications for human soul, so that will be in comparison to the size of the entire virus or bacteria itself. Perhaps not for bacteria, but definitely for virus. So that is why I wanted to understand. So how this is.
Actually, one way to see, just like the tip of a hair, that is the relative. It's a relative explanation. The understanding is a relative explanation based on the body. Okay, for you to understand, it just to give an estimation, 1 by 10,000 of a tip of a hair. It's a very, very small. Very small.
Okay. Okay, so just to explain the qualitative part as to how infinitesimally small it is, that is why this is as the purport is explained in this way. Otherwise, quantitatively, it might be different.
No, quantitatively, no. That is what I'm saying. Quantitatively, it will differentiate only when spiritually you're evolved. When spiritually don't evolve, then the size remains like that only.
Okay. Okay.
Size remains very small, very, very small. Or in another way, one of the acharyas explained, just like your hair. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, so he's speaking to a human being, Nara. Narayan is speaking to the Nara. So he's telling after your hair tip, आपकी खुद की hair की size को by 10,000 per. So from that perspective, the bacteria or the virus they have their particular bodily structure. They may not have eyes and legs and hair and all these things. They have different shapes. They also moving because the soul is present in it. Soul remains with it. It's a living.
Understood, bro. Understood.
And it will take a relatively that much size within its heart. Because the soul remains in the heart position. Now, where is the heart of virus? Where is the heart of the bacteria? So it's very difficult to differentiate. See how many living entities are there within the room where you are staying right now. There are so many souls are there moving around, looking for an higher, upgraded life. And if you just imagine you are chanting in that room, you are not only giving them opportunity to get out of that body, but you are getting that living entity to go back to spiritual world from a bacteria position or from an ant position. So we should be compassionate. Okay.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
So Rahul Babu, Prabhuji, Paramatma comes first before Atma comes from the dead body. Yeah. Yes. When the Paramatma leaves, the Atma goes along with it. Very important point. That is the Paramatma. When Paramatma leaves the body, then naturally the soul also leaves the body. Okay, Rahul? So shall we conclude here?
Yes.